Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my out-of-box review for the 1/144 scale RG Astray Red Frame. Now for me, I think this is one of the best RRGs that we've got so far. Some people are saying they think it is the best RG that we've got so far. I haven't built them all, so I can't say with absolute certainty which one is my favorite, but I still feel the Gundam Mark II is still my favorite RG, and that's not because I am partial to UC. I mean, I certainly am partial to UC, but I wouldn't say that I'm a UC elitist, as some people can be. I don't think that I am, and hopefully you guys don't think that either. I try to keep my reviews and everything on my channel fairly impartial, unless it's something where I'm clearly stating my own opinion. But anyway, again, I don't think the RG Mark II is better than this because it's UC, but just because overall I think it's just a nicer kit just in terms of overall. I think in terms of just looks of just the mobile suit, as in what they've done for making the RG version of that Gundam, I think this one is actually probably the best because I think compared to the HG, even the Master Grade, and even the Perfect Grade, I think this version is probably the best looking one that we've got. So I will say that. So compared to some of the other kits in the RG line, again, Gundam Mark II also very good in that point, but I think this one maybe does have the advantage in that. So let's get it going around. As you'll see, it's just packed with details all over the place. Now, as you'll remember, and as with all RGs, we have a very large sticker sheet. I think I said in the unboxing that I was going to be using some of these, not all of them, but at least some of them. I decided not to. I used a couple of them, like for the eyes, the head sticker, and then a couple of these smaller ones that are like there down the bottom near the ankle. I really just don't have the time to do this for you guys, so sorry about that. There aren't any stickers on there. If you want to see what the kit looks like with all the stickers on there, I encourage you to go check out some other reviewers. I know Type V3 put all the stickers on for his review, and I think on like HobbyLink TV, I think they did on their review as well. So since I'm not going to be using these, I'll give these away to some of you guys, well, to one of you guys. Whoever wants these, let me know in the comments below and I'll send them to you, since I'm not going to be using them. A lot of these like foil ones that are specifically made for this kit, you won't really be able to use on pretty much anything else. But a lot of these other sort of marking stickers and stuff you could use on anything. Even if you have the HG version of this, you could put those stickers on there if you want. This would be pretty cool. Anyway, I'm not going to be using them, sorry. So again, as I said, I think this kit has a really great look to it. I love what they've done with some of these small changes in the design, the proportions and everything. The legs look great. The shoulder armor looks great. I really like the new design of the shoulder armor here. Let me just stop this. Take a closer look. The new just size and shape of the shoulder armor, you don't have to have it sort of down at this much of an angle. It can be just like flat like that, but I think having it a little bit down like that so that this doesn't so much look like the front and the top of like a square box, but that it looks more like a very interesting angle there. Looks much better, and just the overall size of it, like I said, it's just overall less box looking. And here's where we're going to see there is some color separation. As with all RGs, we do have some color separation among the main colors. So it's not only just white, we have a two-tone white here. You can see the top part is slightly darker, a little bit of an off-white sort of gray color. Here on the knees, you're going to be able to notice that as well. Between the main knee part is white, and then the kneecap part here is in that darker color. So it's not too noticeable in many places, but you can notice it. The red obviously is going to have a little bit of variation in terms of the shades of red as well, just a very plain red and then a little bit of a darker red. Now let's get into some of the articulation. So the head is going to go up. You want to be careful because this front part sticks out very far, very easy to pull that V-fin off. So the head is going to go up about like that. Pretty good motion there. Down, oops, I pulled the head off. Down that far. Again, nice motion, nice angle there, all the way far down there. That clear green piece in the top of the head coming through is looking really nice. Here on the back of the head, we do have the clear green part sticking out there in the back as well. And as well as that kind of cool piece that sort of looks like sort of bone, kind of vertebrae on the back of the neck. Kind of hard to see in there, but again, very cool. The waist is going to be pretty good. We've got some nice movement there to the side with a little bit of piston you can see inside there. and then to the side, and then front and back. Not going to be all that much really, but you are going to have a little bit of movement there. The cockpit hatch does open. Let's see if I can remember how to do it. I think they've had to pull. There we go. So yeah, you have to pull this out and then pull it out like that. This bottom partner here comes off very easily when you're trying to do that. But then you can see is sort of a cockpit up inside of there. Of course, no pilot though. So we can close that back up like that. Pretty cool. Really nice just chest design here all together, just the way these armor parts fit around with the red vents poking out inside there, this red detail poking out on the top. Those aren't stickers, that's actual piece that feeds through there. That's pretty nice. Here in the shoulders, this shoulder piece is just going to sit independently on top of that joint, so that's pretty good there. So it's going to be able to move up nice and far. You're able to bring the arm up all the way up to there. So really nice extension there in the arm, some really great range of movement. The front of the arms is going to look just very red, not a whole lot of color separation there, but when you get around to the side is where you can see a lot of more of that color separation between the white and the red. On the back of the arm here is going to be our port for plugging in the shield. You can plug it onto either side, whichever you like. This part, again, I've had this complaint with pretty much every version of the Astray Red Frame, especially with the PG, that we have all that great detail inside the vent there, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult to paint without painting the veins of the vent there. So wish that was separate pieces, like an inner piece and an outer piece, just for the vent there, but sadly that is it. So the shoulder elbow, I mean, you're going to get a nice bend like that. Not totally 180, and you kind of maybe would wish that it would be a little bit more than that, but it still is pretty good. The wrists are just going to be just on ball joints, so nothing really too special there. Front skirts are quite interesting, as they are just these small little pieces that are able to move a little bit, but again, not that much. I mean, enough, as much as you're going to want, but they're so small, it's not really going to be anything too big and noticeable, anything like that. The side skirts as well are going to move a little bit, but not really anything too exciting. And the back skirt as well, and that has a kind of unique gimmick I'll talk about here in a moment. First, let's talk about the backpack, and that is able to move a little bit as well. These arms that hold the beam saber handles are able to move out side to side. I think if you wanted, you could point them all the way down, but for some reason that one just popped out. But I don't think that's due to the fact that it's not supposed to do that. I think it just came out. But anyway, so those are able to move as well. Alright, so moving on to the legs first, we just have very typical legs. They're of course without this very, very small side skirt armor. Your legs are able to go out all the way to do the splits. And then you're going to have, of course, some really nice movement here in the legs. When you bend that knee, all this armor is going to move and give you some really cool effects there with that armor separation there on the thigh and in the knee. And then just here as well, all of this color separation between all of those parts is all going to be looking very nice. Now, with most RGs, the inner frame is going to be pretty hidden, but there is a lot of areas where you are going to be seeing that very first B runner inner frame, like all down the back of this leg pretty much is all the B frame runner parts for the inner frame. There is what I want to say. So that's pretty cool that you are able to see a lot of that coming through in the final product as well even. Really nice detail just with those vents on the back of the leg there. This ankle armor is able to move. Here's where I did stick one of the stickers, that kind of shiny red sticker there just on the front. Because that was very early in the construction when I thought I was going to put them all on before I changed my mind. The ankles, one thing that I have never really quite liked too much about the Astray Red Frame is that the legs look really good and that they look like nice and bulky and really powerful, and then you have these feet which don't look too bad, but then between there you just have a very simple joint. It's like barely connected with the foot to the leg. Just a really small little joint there connecting the two. It's kind of jarring, I think, between these huge, big, powerful, like muscular looking legs. Oops. And then those shoes. and then like nothing in between. So looks kind of weird. But the feet do work very nicely. We're going to have some very nice movement side to side, front to back, and the toe, you're going to have a nice curl there and multiple joints in the toe there. So great articulation. Now let's go back to the back skirt, because this is kind of an interesting point that it shows you what to do in the manual. I have not tried it yet, so hopefully the kit doesn't fall apart. The way that the hip joint swings is unique with this kit in that this whole part swings down. See, okay, I knew something was going to come apart. But this whole part, as you can see, swings down like that. So kind of odd, unique. Why it does that, I'm guessing is just to help with the articulation for some pose, but I don't really know what pose is going to benefit from that. I guess maybe I'll figure it out when I get to posing this kit, but it's odd. Anyway, interesting. So that's about it for the kit itself. Let's go ahead and talk about the accessories and weapons and stuff, because it does have quite a lot of those. So let me put this down here. Right, so the first thing I want to talk about is hands, and thankfully we do have quite a few of them. On the kit, I just have the hands that just come on the B runner, so just attached to the inner frame. So those are just going to be our closed fists now. As you notice, those fingers are just solid red. The fingers should be red and white. The only one of the set of hands that we get for this kit are actually molded in the correct colors, and that is the articulated hands on our B runner. So these are the only ones that are in the red and white colors, as they should be. Even these are not perfect, I believe. If I remember correctly, there is still some painting you would have to do to these to make them totally perfect, but still pretty cool that we are getting these. These articulated hands are very cool in theory, and they do work pretty well, but they can be a bit of a headache in that they do tend to fall apart quite easily. So we do have a left and right hand for these. Nice that we have the option, and they are a little bit more accurate than the rest of the hands in terms of their colors. Then we are going to have just holding hands, so these are going to be for our beam sabers. We do have a left and right for these, as well as the katana. I believe you can use that to be held in these hands as well. Again, just red for the fingers, so we'll have to do some painting on those as well. And then for our special hands, we have an open hand for the left hand, which is a very nice design here. This is how you do an open hand, not like the Reconquista and G-style open hands. And I believe that this hand is also made to be especially sort of unique, to be sort of attached to the clutching of the sword when it's kind of like on the attached onto the skirt armor onto the side. Get back to that. And then for the right hand, we have a trigger finger for the beam rifle, so that's going to be coming in handy as well. So that's it for the hands. Then okay, just speaking of the beam rifle, let's just move on to that next. Here it is, just all in this very, very dark gray color. There is a there is a clear green piece inside the sight there. But otherwise, just pretty simple design. I like the design of this beam rifle quite a bit, which is why this is what I want to use for this kit. Ultimately is the beam rifle and not the sword. But this, as you can see, has a peg where you're able to just attach this onto the back skirt if you want, like that. And then that's stuck onto there. Not too securely, it does come off kind of easily, but it can stay on there. Then for the beam saber handles, we have these on the backpack, and which you could use because they come off, but we also have a second set, so we have 4 actually. The second set has these pegs on the side, which are going to be helping to keep them more secure in the hands. Now the ones that are attached on the backpack don't have that, just because they're not supposed to. Just aesthetically, that's just a point to help with the model kit, so we have a second set that actually includes those. And then we have our beam saber effect parts, which are nice because they're unique for this kit. Instead of just being just kind of basic, we do have some detail in there to kind of help them look more rough and jagged. So pretty nice look for those. We have 2 of those, so you could use both of them. Then we have our pilot figure holding his briefcase there up over his shoulder. Just tiny 1/144 scale pilot figure there. we have our action-based connector, which actually is kind of unique in its design, that instead of just clipping onto the under side of the leg, it's going to slide onto a track there. So you just need to slide it back on there, and then it locks into place. So a little bit different design for that, and it looks like, I think maybe you can plug this directly onto the base using that square part there, or you can plug it onto the peg using the peg connection port. So I haven't tried that on the square part, but let's go ahead and just try it now while I've got my base here. Just put that on there, and yeah, it does just attach directly onto there. So that's pretty cool. You don't have to use an adapter piece. You don't have to use an adapter piece and the connector. You just use the connector itself, and it just kind of eliminates the middleman there. So pretty cool. I wish that it wasn't red, because now it sort of looks like it's part of the kit, like part of the red frame, and it looks kind of silly. So I wish it was a different color, but of course we can always remedy that with some paint. And next we have our shield. Now I really quite like this shield, so I am definitely going to be using this for this kit. We have this sort of articulated arm piece, which is going to help us connect that to the back of the arm, and I found that once you plug that in, it is very hard to actually get it out, so it's very secure. That part's just on a peg into the arm, and then it's just on a ball joint where the shield attaches onto there, so it's very easy to move the shield around. We do have this extra handle as well that can flip out like that, and can be put in the hand just for some sort of added support as well. Some great detail up underneath there. Going in with some panel lining ink is definitely going to be helping bring out all that detail on the shield, so very nice there. And finally, the sword and connection part, which I'll talk about in just a moment. Sword has this that nasty gold color on the end, and for here, these parts on the handle. Really great detail all around, and it's really nice looking. Nice that we have this peg connection part on the left and right, so you have a choice of whether you want to mount this on the left or the right side of the Gundam. Taking a look at the overall length of it, it is longer than the actual Gundam itself, so that's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. And then we pull it out there, and of course we have this chrome plated piece. And if you'll notice, hopefully you can see this, there is a little bit, if you can see that like wavy line in there, there is a slight difference in the texture of how they coated this to give it that wavy line on the edge to make it look like a sharpened blade. So very cool, a lot of attention to detail there. Okay, so I'll be showing this on the kit momentarily, and I'll be posing it with this for this review, but after that I'm not going to be using this at all. So if any of you guys want this, let me know in the comments below. The first one who does, I will send this to you to use with your Astray Red Frame. And as I'm just about to point out, you can mount 2 swords to this, and I'll show you how. We have this connection piece here on the side of the leg built in for holding the sword. If you'll notice this gray part here with that hole, you can just plug this directly onto there, like so. Now if you didn't want it attached to the side of the leg, you can attach it to the side skirt armor, similar to the PG, but in a different way. The side skirt armor doesn't open up, but we have this piece here, which is going to be going, it's quite small, so hopefully I can do this pretty easily. It has to go under first, then over, and hopefully it's just going to snap into place like that. There we go. And then here, so now we've got this other option for where we can attach the sword onto the side skirt armor, like so. So if you had 2 swords, you can attach one here and then one onto the leg as well. Pretty cool for someone who likes the swords. I personally just don't really like the look of them, and I know whenever I get around to actually painting the kit and finishing it off, I'm not going to want to use the sword, so I figure I might as well give it to one of you guys who can actually put it to some use. This part is not staying on very well, so I'm just going to take that off. I like it better connected to the leg personally rather than the side skirt, so let's just go ahead and stick with that. So let me put this up on an action base and let's continue. Alright, now I'll say that this kit is probably one of the few kits that could really pull off a lot of really awesome dynamic poses on the ground, with it being sort of a very, with that sword anyway, a very sort of martial arts flavored mobile suit. that's going to be a big thing, that it's able to do a lot of these sort of awesome looking stances and techniques while standing on the ground. I think it probably can do that very well. Just personally, I like to have stuff up on action base. I think it opens up even a lot more possibilities in terms of the dynamics of the pose, so I've got it up on action base. But I just want to at least just tell you guys, or maybe just remind you, I don't know, just that you could do a lot with this on the ground. Another thing is that I am not a big person who's into a lot of like martial arts kind of stuff, so in terms of the posing, I'm not going to be able to do a lot of like very, I don't know, accurate or maybe too creative in terms of like the martial arts poses for this, but I don't know, this is one that I just came up with pretty quickly, pretty simple to do. I wanted to use that open hand. I like that for the left hand. Before the kit came out, one thing that I was worried about, in a lot of the pictures I thought the hands looked too big, especially the holding hands here, I thought looked too big compared to the kit. Now that I'm seeing it in person, I don't think it's as bad as I thought it was. They're not like jarringly big. When you've got this much detail everywhere and like so much going on, and like how just nice the kit looks in terms of it, like it looks very fluid and dynamic, I guess. I hate to use that word over and over again, but I don't really know any other way to describe it. And overall, the articulation is probably never going to be an issue for you guys to be able to pull off some sort of awesome looking pose with this. But that is, I think, all that I want to do with the sword, because as I said, it's not particularly my favorite weapon. I want to switch it up to the shield and beam rifle from now on and show you guys a couple more poses with those weapons before we finish up the review. Alright, so for me, I think you can just keep the samurai swords and all of that to your old Japanese Akira Kurosawa movies. And when it comes to me and Gundam, I just prefer a good beam saber always, pretty much. That is to say, there is the exception of the upcoming Barbatos Gundam. The sword on that one looks very, very cool, but that's definitely sort of more newer, modern take on the traditional physical sword, rather than something that's sort of intended to look kind of old in style. I don't really care for this, but the more futuristic take on that with the Barbatos does look pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. But for the most part, just a beam saber is always going to be good for me when it comes to Gundam, so I like this look much better. And also, one thing that I forgot to say, just because I didn't notice until I went to put the beam saber handle in the hand, is that these handles, I'm not sure about the handles on the backpack as well. I think, yeah, those as well. There is a specific left and right handle. The backpack won't matter because they don't have the pegs, so they're totally asymmetrical, I believe. I mean, totally symmetrical, but as for the ones that do have the pegs, there is a slight difference in here. We can see on the side there is going to be one part that sticks out, and that plus the peg is going to make it so that it either fits into the left or the right hand. So just not really something to keep in mind or to be aware of. You'll figure it out when you get the kit, but if you get this and you're trying to put this into the hand and it's just not fitting, that is why, so just keep it in mind, I guess. Anyway, again, here, I didn't really change up the pose all that much from the one that I just had it in, holding the Katana sword. I brought the arm down a little bit, brought both the arms down a little bit, brought the leg down a little bit, and then just obviously put all the regular weapons on there, the shield, beam rifle in the back skirt, and the beam saber in the hand. But still, very successful pose. Pretty easy to pose this kit. Alright, so finally here, not so much dynamic that I really wanted to go for with this last pose, but just sort of awesome looking. I think that the Astray for me has never really been all that appealing as like a samurai sort of martial arts mobile suit. I really like as I've been saying this whole time basically, I like the look of the shield, I like the look of the beam rifle. I think the Gundam looks good just with those weapons. I think it's a very, very powerful looking mobile suit and a Gundam just with those weapons. So This is the look for me when it comes to this kit. I really like this look for it. I have to say the new action-based connector is great, and I really hope that this is the kind of action-based connector that they're going to be including with future RG kits as well, and possibly even with other kits. I don't know what else they might include it with, because usually HGs are using just the peg. But an action-based connector like this that gives you the option of using a peg or just plugging the action base directly into that connection piece is really nice. I do also like how it feeds onto the mobile suit. It's very easy to just slide on and off. Just to give you a demonstration here quickly, if I wanted to just change up the pose, very easy to just slide that right off the action-based connector. When I want to put it back on, just slide it back on, and that's it. Super easy to connect and disconnect, so that's definitely points there. I wish that it wasn't red, but still it wouldn't be hard to just paint that. Pretty simple to fix. Anyway, that's about all I can say for this kit. I think I always say that at around the end of my reviews, but I feel like there's something missing. So if I did miss something, of course, guys, please let me know, and you usually do. So thank you for that. Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys got the kit, what do you think? I'm sure a lot of you did. I think this was probably a very big seller for Bandai. Number 19 in the series. The next one's going to be number 20. We had kind of a false alarm the other day saying that it was going to be the Infinite Justice Gundam, but then Bandai retracted that and said it was just a mistake. Was it really a mistake, or do you think the next one is going to be the Infinite Justice? They did say, though, in fixing that mistake, they said the next RG is going to be in, I forget, but I believe they said after February, so that means we usually are getting one every 3 or 4 months, I believe it is, but that means that this time around, our sort of fall kit, it looks like we're not going to be getting an RG at this time, and I know that's due to a lot of reasons, but it's just kind of disappointing. I wish that there was, and who knows, there could be a surprise. Maybe they are going to surprise us at the end of this month. I believe there's going to be some hobby show going on where we're supposed to be getting some announcements, probably the announcement of the December release big master grade kit. But I don't know. What do you guys think is going to be the next RG kit? I've heard rumors, but I don't know. I don't really know what to believe. I hope it's something from UC, but who knows? It seems like it's been a while. The last one was the Zagok, which was pretty cool, but I'd like another Gundam type mobile suit from UC. I don't know. So let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry this was a little bit long, but it is an RG, so it's a little bit more complicated, a little bit more to cover there. And I wanted to be able to show you guys everything. I'm sure someone has already commented by now saying that you want the stickers and or the sword, so congratulations to you guys. I like being able to just give stuff away to you guys if it's helpful for you, because it's not really going to be helpful for me. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.